Greetings and welcome to the Fan Perspective. I'm your host Nathan Isle, and this is my continuing coverage of the 2016 WNBA playoffs. And this will actually be the last video that I make for the 2016 season. There will be one more video sometime by the end of October, maybe somewhere in November. I'm not sure yet, but somewhere within the next month or so, I will do an off-season power rankings where, based on what happened this year and the things that I think might happen during the offseason, I try to predict where I think teams will finish in the 2017 season. But we'll get to that later, like I said, within the next month or so. For now, let's recap the semifinals. It's a best-of-5 series. Neither of these series went to 5 games, though. You have the number 1 seed Lynx versus the number 8 seed Mercury, and the Mercury, during the playoffs, Diana Taurasi looked like Diana Taurasi. The Mercury looked like a team that many people picked to win the finals this year. But then they faced the Lynx, and the Mercury started to look like the team that barely got into the playoffs with the 8th seed. And they ended up getting swept. It was a 3-0 victory. And most of these games were not even close. It's just, Minnesota's just showed complete dominance from start to finish in almost every single contest. And it's now, Maya Moore and the Lynx are going back to the finals for the 5th time in the last 4 years, looking to win the 4th championship, which would tie them with the Houston Comets for the franchise with the most championships. And then on the other side, you've got the number 2 seed Sparks, the number 4 seed Sky. This one was a little bit closer. The Sky playing without Deladon. The Sparks, the Sky had no answer for them. Nneka and Candace, they were giving huge performances, showing total dominance on their home court. Then Game 3, they go back to Chicago. The Sky step it up defensively. They keep the score low, and they managed to barely squeak by with the win, keep themselves alive. And then in Game 4, they get trounced once again. And I think what you saw, not just the scores, that alone can show you, like, Elena Deladon was one of the leading scorers in the league, and the difference in point totals at the end of the game is basically what she averaged for the season. And they definitely missed her production. She actually helps out on both sides of the ball. She's really great. She's also one of the team's leading rebounders and blockers as well. So yeah, I think if she had been there, it might have been a much closer series. It could have gone to 5. They could have squeezed out a few wins, possibly even gotten to the finals themselves. But they're out. Though they do have good news. They look like they've got a great building blocks for the future. They've already got Deladon established. Boyette had a great series, getting a few double-doubles, in her first playoff series. So they've got a bright future ahead of them. But for now, the immediate future, we have the Minnesota Lynx. Once again, been there, done that, bought the t-shirt, came back for seconds. And then thirds, and then fourths, and now fifths. They're here again. I'm more shocked when the Lynx don't get to the finals, because it seems to happen every single year with Maya. And now you've got the Los Angeles Sparks. Candace Parker and many of her teammates have never been to this finals before. And so it's going to be an interesting matchup. You've got the two teams with the best records in the league. And, on the one hand, there are so many storylines I can't talk about. But here are the things that stick up most to me. First of all, home field advantage. Is it really an advantage? Because, during the regular season, every time these teams faced each other, the away team actually won. Interesting fact if you hadn't realized that. But then again, playoffs are a different story. Neither of these teams has lost a single home game in the playoffs. The Lynx also undefeated on the road compared to the Sparks, who are 1-1 on the road, but they've each only played one series, and it was against the lower seed. So against each other, we'll see. You've, of course, got the matchups that you want to look at. LA's got 2 MVPs in Candace and Nneka. You've also got Jontel Lavender, 6th Woman of the Year. So you've got 3 people who can walk the post, play very strong in the middle, and they're going to try to walk past Sylvia Fowles, the 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, Rebecca Brunson, who, people who have watched the league, they know who Rebecca is, but she she can be considered underrated. She doesn't get as much attention, but she is part of the core four that has been with the Lynx through every single championship. So her value cannot be understated. And then, of course, we got the front court duo, which I feel like Minnesota definitely has the edge. I mean, no offense to LA, Beard is great. Tolliver can be amazing at times. Essence, of course, she's had a hell of a career. But Waylon, Moore, and Augustus, that just packs more of a punch. Both on the offensive and defensive sides of the ball. They are just scarier to look at least on paper, when you see the body of work that they've accomplished throughout their years together. And so, you look at the bench, like I said, Jontel, 6th Woman of the Year. Then again, other than her, they've got like a few people here and there who may get some time, might get some points. The Minnesota, I feel like they've got a deeper bench and they make better use of it. And then, of course, you've got the battle between two veteran coaches. You've got Cheryl Reeve, Brian Agler. But 2010, Brian Agler won Coach of the Year, and he led the Storm to a championship. Cheryl Reeve, she's a 2-time Coach of the Year. She's won 3 championships, 5 if you include the 2 she won as an assistant with the Shock. It's definitely not an easy matchup for either of these guys, and I hope to God that it does go to 5 games. I feel like that's what they deserve. And it's hard to really go against either of these teams, because both of these teams, they played well all season, and I don't think anyone's really shocked to see them in the finals. They put together a great campaign, and throughout the entirety of the year, the only teams that really consistently challenged them every single time was each other. They were on a collision course. We saw this coming. That being said, I definitely feel more comfortable picking the Lynx to win it all for 2 reasons. One, Candace Parker, she's easily one of the best athletes in the entire world right now, and she definitely deserves a ring, and I hope she gets it. I'll be honest, between the two, I'm rooting for LA. But that's because they're an underdog, and I've said it before. There are times when I look at Candace and I think she is very talented. But she's almost 30 now, and this is her first time even getting to the finals. And winning it all is very, very hard. So it's almost impossible to beat the Lynx 3 times. I can't, off the top of my head, think of a single team in recent years who has beaten the Lynx 3 times in one single season. Please tell me if you can name a few. Leave some comments down below, the team and the year that they did it. Because ever since Maya Moore got drafted, I can't think of a single team that has actually beaten the Lynx 3 times in a single season, much less over a 5-game span. So, the Lynx, they've just been there, done that. They're too deep and too experienced, and I think that the veteran knowledge, the leadership, it's all going to factor into it, and I feel more comfortable saying that the Lynx have a better shot of winning this. Don't get me wrong, LA still has more than a chance. It is very possible for LA to come away with this. But based on everything I've seen, not just this year, but in these past 6 years, where the Lynx have been continuously getting to this level and finishing for every other year, they get a title. But it's hard to bet against them. They've proven that they can handle it. The Sparks still have so much more left to prove. So, that's it. Personally, I'll be rooting for the Sparks because I like a good underdog story, but I do feel like they are the underdog. Everything seems to be more heavily in favor of the Lynx finishing this off. But more than anything else, I just hope it's a really great series. I think these are going to be some fun games to watch. And so if you want to watch them, the link in the description down below, I've got all the games listed out. The first one's going to be Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on ABC. So hopefully all of you get the chance to check it out, because these will be the last games played this season. There might only be 3 left. There might be 5 left. Who knows? Either way, this is your last chance to watch WNBA action in 2016. And then you'll have to wait a lot of months before you get to see them play again. Unless you do get to watch the overseas games. But whatever, that's neither here nor there. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I will do one more video in 2016, which will be the off-season power rankings. And until then, this has been the Fan Perspective. I am your host, Nathan Lyle. It's been really fun. Thank you for sticking with me all season. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for every single one of the views you give me. I'm constantly shocked that every time I refresh the page, the number just seems to keep going up. And it's been an honor to report to you this year. And I look forward to returning next season for the 2017 WNBA season. And hopefully, somewhere down the line in these next 2 or 3 years, the Stars will eventually get it together. Because I'm still a San Antonio boy, born and bred. I want my Stars to do well. But it looks like for the next 2 years, at least, maybe a third, possibly even a fourth, we're going to be in that lottery. But we're going to get a lot of great, talented people, and we're going to be able to build. We're going to get better. I know we will. We just got to struggle through really quickly. And with just a few more years, and then we'll be back on track. It's going to happen. I have to keep believing it. I have to. They're my team. I have to believe in them. I have no choice.